Welcome to the Mustard Seed Reflections, where we will continue to highlight the biblical learnings provided in the Mustard Seed Advent publications. So, prepare for today's enlightening exploration of faith and leadership through biblical understanding. The focal point of our discussion is a figure of immense importance in Christian history, Peter. Elected by God, Peter reveals profound truths that have the power to enlighten the world. As it is written in Matthew 16:16, Simon Peter boldly states, "Thou art the Christ, the Son of the living God." This confession of faith placed Peter in a position of honor, distinguishing him among the disciples and church leaders. It might sound confusing since previous videos highlight that Jesus and Christ are two separate and distinct personalities, yet Peter is honored for calling Jesus the Christ. We can speak to this on another video, but a lesson here is that the Christ is actually a title, and Peter is not saying Jesus is Christ. Remember, every word of God is pure. Even the word "the" makes a significant difference. Peter's insight into Christ's identity, hidden in Jesus as prophesied in Deuteronomy 18:15, was divinely inspired. Jesus acknowledges this revelation, saying in Matthew 16:17-18, "Blessed art thou, Simon Bar-Jonah, for flesh and blood hath not revealed it unto thee, but my Father. Upon this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it." Remarkably, Peter was entrusted with the keys of the kingdom of heaven. Peter's story parallels that of Jacob, who, as stated in Genesis 32:28, was transformed. "Thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel. For as a prince hast thou power with God and with men, and hast prevailed." Both figures symbolize divine election and power. However, it is important to remember that both of these men have since passed away. The lesson for us is that they both symbolize the man God will choose today to inherit the keys to the kingdom. As you may have read in Acts, Peter's journey was not without challenges. Despite being promised the keys to the kingdom, his mission faced obstacles. In Acts, it talks about a moment of hesitation when Peter struggled to embrace God's command to share the gospel with Gentiles. In Acts 26:17, Paul recounts God's directive, "Delivering thee from the people and from the Gentiles, unto whom now I send thee." Therefore, it could not have been the original Peter that was given the keys to the kingdom, as he has long passed and also was not able to embrace his calling. The connection between these pivotal figures, David, Jacob, and Peter, reveals a pattern of divine election. Each represents or is a metaphor of the man who is elected of God, the promise of leadership and enlightenment for the world yearning for truth. In conclusion, as we reflect on the scriptures and the legacies of Peter, Jacob, and David, we find the underlying theme of election and illumination. Each was chosen to guide us toward a deeper understanding of faith and God's eternal kingdom. We can now know for sure that Christ's covenant to Peter, making him the master of the kingdom, the man with the keys to the door, applies to the one whom Peter prefigured, antitypical Peter, the mustard seed, the promised son of David, the promised Elijah who was to restore all things, the antitypical Moses, Jacob the overcomer. Pick your iconic biblical metaphor. We also know that the promise to Peter was proverbial because David's son was promised the same gift when the Lord told ancient David, "I will set up thy seed after thee, and I will establish his kingdom. I will establish the throne of his kingdom forever." 2 Samuel 7:12-13. It was said of David with even more affirmation, "I will set up one shepherd over them, and he shall feed them, even my servant David. And I, the Lord, will be their God, and my servant David a prince among them." Ezekiel 34:23-24. Inferentially, therefore, the Lord's futuristic promise to give to Peter the keys must be a dark covenant intended for our understanding today, the day when the angel joins the third angel in the message to be given to the world. It is the day when the sun rises on Jacob, the day when his name is changed to Israel and clarity is thereby conveyed to the church. The clarity is here. All three figures, at least David, Jacob, and Peter, represent the Lord's end-time shepherd, the man who enters into the fold through the door with the keys. He is the one who is to lead us today. This is God's plan of salvation, his strategy to save humanity. Thank you for joining us in this exploration. Please like this video, subscribe, share, and make a comment to support this channel. May you find inspiration in these timeless lessons and the understanding that God has indeed elected significant figures throughout history to light our path. God bless.